Welcome back to another episode of Franky D Crafter. Now there was some things about the Port Town that I didn't cover in the Port Town show and tell video, so this will be the show and tell part 2. Let's get right into it. The first thing I want to get right into is the boat actually. What I'm planning to do with the boats in my world is basically have every boat has its backstory. If it doesn't have a real backstory, it's not a boat. I'm assuming that if you follow my work on any other platform but YouTube, you'll get to see that I'm heavily influenced by shows like One Piece when I'm crafting my story or I'm crafting ideas for encounters and things like that. I like the sense of adventure of the show, so I like to implement as much of it as I can on my own game, and this is one of the things. That's why I chose a chicken, and then it's got, well, a rooster, and then it's got a whole bunch of other little things that kind of mimic the idea that it's based on a rooster, you know? And I didn't want to make it too overly complicated. I had to rush and do the project right before the night of the session, and so I did as best as I could in the short amount of time that I had. I think it took me about 3 hours to get the whole boat together, which isn't a lot. I had to bake the clay to make sure it dried so I can glue it there as quick as possible. One of the things I want to cover is little things like this. I didn't make this, but I thought it was perfect for it. And these, where I work, we go through a lot of liquor, and this is actually like tequila top for the thing with the rooster, and I had like 4 or 5 of them. At first I thought, oh, if I put like a clear coat over it, a clear like even if it's just a piece of plastic over it, it could be a table. So I kept running it through my head on what I was actually gonna use it for. I finally went with the boat, actually having like a rooster style kind of boat. I'm Mexican, so where I come from, like, people tend to nickname people, and one of like the like a good nickname to have is like a rooster, like el gallo, like in town. So an old friend of mine was actually they used to call him that, and it's a good title to have, like a nickname. And I decided to go and make a boat in his honor, and I think it turned out great. I love the way it came out, even though it was rushed. If I wasn't rushing it, I would have put an actual sail on it, but I'm very happy that I didn't actually. And you guys let me know in the comment section below whether this is a good thing or a bad thing that I've come to this decision. But I like that there's nothing really getting in the way for me. My players, when I put this on the table, my players were so happy to be able to move around the ship that I just enjoyed the openness of it, and it was really fun for them. I'm very happy about that. Obviously, this is more of a fishing boat. It's not a war boat, or it's not a cruiser or anything. So I did want to mainly keep it basic. I didn't want to go crazy, aside from not having a lot of time to work on it. I'm sorry I keep looking at the work instead of keep looking at the camera. I'm not 100% comfortable with just being in front of a camera, as weird as that sounds. And honestly, when I first started the channel, I was not planning on having me in front of a camera. So I hope you guys are enjoying that aspect of it. Let me know what you think of the boat. I'm gonna take some better pictures of this. I'll post them on Facebook, or I'll be posting them on Instagram and all of those places, you know. Another thing that I wanted to do for the setup of the Port Town on the first video was something that actually was done by a fellow YouTuber, Critical Crafting. He made this really good looking coral reefs kind of thing, and I wanted to put them and scatter them around the town, but unfortunately I needed a heat gun for it, and I ordered it. It ended up coming up like the week after, so I couldn't actually use it for the video, but I ended up using them for the actual session that I had with my players. And basically these are what I came up with. I didn't actually end up doing what Critical Crafting did, simply because my heat gun came in a little bit too late, and by the time it came, I had already built some of these for my table. Another thing that went very well in the session was actually the crabs. The crabs that I made for the port town with their little weapons. And I actually got more weapons, but a future episode I'll talk about that. And they went well. They went really well. And the thing about these crabs is that their metal armor was so hard to hit and pierce through or crack. It's just like the players figured out, well, we're not really gonna beat them this way. We're gonna take some damage if we keep trying this way. So let's just gang up on them and flip them, and then somebody comes in and just cuts them up from, you know. So they were figuring out like clever ways to beat these crabs, because their top part had such an AC, such a high AC, that the regular, they had to get so lucky with their rolls that they were like, you know what, we have to try something else. Let's try to flip these dudes. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. They enjoyed it a lot. I used them twice, on the first session and on the second session. On the first session, it was kind of like easy mode. Second session, it was a little bit tougher for them. The first session was mainly on the boat, so a lot of the players were restricted to just being on the boat. But the second session, I had it more into like an underwater cave where they went in through this long hallway under the town that led them like deep underground or far away from the town. They were looking for this item. I'm not gonna explain a lot because they were kind of like left off on a cliffhanger about what this item was. But this item was attracting these crabs, and it was attracting a lot of other monsters. And it was purposely left in town. And so they're trying to figure out who's doing this, why they're doing it, blah blah blah. But they came across another one of these, and they were like, wait a minute, didn't we defeat the king crab on the last one? There's a few cliffhangers that were left in the story right at the end of the session because we kind of ran out of time, or of course we would have just kept on playing. One thing that they don't know yet is that the crowns don't actually signify that they're kings. The crabs are more like, let's say, like, I don't know if you guys know, but like certain birds have pecking orders, chickens have pecking orders, certain animals have pecking orders, and there's a certain hierarchy. There's nobody really in charge. The person in charge seems to go up and down depending on who's the strongest one at that point, right? So the thing with the crabs is that their status is determined by what kind of weapon they have. The stronger the weapon, the higher they are on the hierarchy. But then there's a certain group of crabs that are defined by how many crowns they wear. So the higher the number of crowns they wear, the stronger they are in the society and the more power they have. The bigger their group of crabs that they command is. So to show the extreme of, you have the one crab here has 1 crown. This is what a crab with 4 crowns looks like. And there you go. I had a lot of fun crafting it. It's not even ended yet. I still have to glue some stuff. Honestly, I'm debating whether to even glue this because, and I hope my players don't watch this video before we actually play and I play this monster. But the thing with this guy is I kind of, you know, it's like, oh snap, you hit the hand so hard that you just cracked it. His hand fell off now. Who knows, I might actually end up gluing it, because I was thinking of putting tanks on this instead of actual weapons. So it'd be like, okay, this is what they have now. Instead of swords, they've upped their game. This guy can take down boats, so he has tanks. But I'm thinking of having a way to actually have the other miniatures be able to be set on top of it, so it looks like they're actually like using this guy as a ship. And now you have this giant crab going up against a huge boat. I did film myself crafting this, so this is an upcoming video you'll see soon. I didn't film myself crafting the ship, so unfortunately we won't be looking at how I crafted that. It was simple enough, I can easily make another one, but now I have to come up with the idea of what I want the theme of that one to be. And if you guys have a little bit of free time, look up on Google Images One Piece ships or something like that, and you'll see where I'm gonna be getting my ideas of how I want to craft this ships coming up. And eventually I'll do different ones in different styles. So working on those episodes with the port stuff put me far enough ahead that I was able to actually concentrate on working on stuff for my sessions. I was able to concentrate on things that I want to do aside from just D&D related stuff. I was able to, in an upcoming video you're gonna see, I crafted a werewood tree thanks to, you know, the community for kind of inspiring me to go ahead and do that. And so I'm trying to grow the channel as much as I can. The more I grow it, the more you'll be able to basically have what you want built on the channel. So one of the things that I started doing was like a little comic strips of what was going on in the story that I'm running, which is really cool. And that was actually my girlfriend's idea, and you know, shout outs to her, because I mean, she puts up with all of this. This is our hallway. This is a hallway right here, and it's not a lot of space. I kind of just took over this area. It's like it's mine, and you know, which is very supportive. It's amazing. It's really good. Sorry for rambling. I felt like I needed a catch up on what else you could add for the port town. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button if you did. Subscribe, obviously, if you haven't. And I hope you enjoy the content and you want to watch and see more of the content. I want to give a huge thank you to the patrons that I have at the moment. They're very cool. I'm very happy to have the people that I do have supporting me. It means the world to me. Especially to have somebody that tells you and sends you a message and lets you know you're one of my favorite up and coming like YouTubers that does crafting, or I don't know, stuff like that gets to me. And I'm not an emotional person, but it's something new, you know, and it does get me a little bit. It definitely helps just to have like that support, that love. The more I get comfortable with just doing this YouTube stuff, the more I want to tweak certain things so that I can give more to those people that are supporting me. I can't express how much it really means to me. It makes me want to do better. It makes me want to keep going and doing it better. It's so awesome. I honestly didn't think that people were gonna care too much about what I did, that I was a little bit too out there for maybe some crafting stuff. But you know, a lot of what I make is just random stuff that I want to make, and hopefully what I want people to kind of take out of that is to be like, I like this technique, I could definitely make something actually D&D related with it. That was sort of like my plan. But I'm a kid at heart, so I'm gonna continue to do this stuff. It's an amazing journey so far. I just wanted to thank everybody, thank my new subscribers. I wish every time I got a new subscriber, I could thank them directly. You let me know if this rambling's a little bit too much for you. I won't, you know, I'll organize myself a little bit better. Maybe give you a more direct and wholesome episode than what you got today. Another thing I want to say is, if you know somebody that might enjoy this content, let them know. Let them know. Don't forget to comment, and I do look at all of those comments. I try to reply to all of them. Thank you very much again, guys. Thank you very much again for watching this episode of Franky D Crafted. Hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Stay crafty.